Welcome to our monthly Ask Me Anything call. I'm so glad you're here with me today. All right, so this is our Ask Me Anything call, and we do this twice a month. So once we do it here in my Facebook business page, and this is open to the public. Anyone can comment or ask a question. And then we do it a second time in my private Facebook group for the silver level members of the Life Editor Clubhouse. So if you're in the Clubhouse, you get to talk to me twice a month, which is pretty cool. All right, so here's how it goes. This is your chance to pick my brain and ask me any questions that you might have about life editing, your self-care, business, project management, anything that's going on in your life that you want some advice on or some support with. So you can type your questions into the comments box. I'll see them as they come up, and I'll answer your questions live during today's call. But if you are watching this recording later, don't worry. You can still type your questions into the comments, and I will be coming back and answering your questions for the rest of the week. All right, great. So before we get into today's topics and today's questions, I just want to remind you that we have a planner sale going on right now on my website. So you can go to sagegrayson.com, and it should be on your screen here somewhere. And the 2018 edited year planners are on sale right now. So just to be clear, we're no longer selling the printed versions, but don't worry that the printed versions for 2019 are coming in just a few months. But the digital versions for the 2018 planners are now available in a bundle. Forget this, 60% off. I know, you guys have been waiting for this. I know you guys have been waiting for this. So we're halfway through the year, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be thinking about your goals, or just because maybe you've given up on your New Year's resolutions doesn't mean you should be like, oh, well, I'm a failure. No. We've still got 6 months left of 2018, which is an enormous amount of time, and you can still make progress on your goals. You can still do those things that you might have abandoned a few months ago, and my edited year planners can totally help you out with that. So again, go to sagegrayson.com and click on planners to get your edited year planners for 60% off. So normally the bundle is $49, but now you can get the bundle for just $19. And that's all 3 planners: the life goals planners, the business goals planner, and the 12-week undated planner, which is very popular. So just so you know, there's only a day and a half left of the planner sale. This 60% off offer disappears tomorrow, Friday, July 6th. So get your planners ASAP. And then check in with me. Send me an email or type it in the comments box here. What big goals do you want to achieve by the end of 2018? Now remember, we've still got 6 months left, so don't shortchange yourself. You can still do stuff for the rest of the year. So type it in the comment box, send me an email to sage@sagegrayson.com. Let me know, what are your big goals for the rest of the year? All right, moving on to today's questions. This question I kind of get from a lot of my clients, and I think it's really universal. So I really wanted to dedicate today's call to talking about confidence. And more often we have this lack of confidence. And I was thinking about this because I had a client recently who was having a lot of trouble being confident about putting her face out there, putting her pictures of herself on her website, putting videos of herself talking about her business. And she was really freezing up about it because she didn't feel confident about putting herself out there. And this does happen a lot with my clients, not just my clients who are entrepreneurs, but for everyone. The idea of like putting ourselves out there, like for people to see, for people to judge us, can be like really, really scary. And a lot of this comes from our self-doubt. And if you haven't watched the Clubhouse class, An Edited Mind, go into the Clubhouse, click An Edited Mind, and watch that, because we really, really dive into self-doubt and worry and fear. And it's a really, really amazing class. It's probably my favorite Clubhouse class, so it's An Edited Mind. So go check that out in the Clubhouse. But the idea of self-doubt is that we are doubting us. We're doubting whether we're actually capable to do the things that we want to do. And we doubt our abilities. Like, maybe I don't have the education to do such and such. Or we doubt who we are fundamentally, like maybe I'm not a good person and that's why I fail. Or we doubt our value to the world, like nobody's gonna hire me, who would hire me? So we have all of these doubts that are just kind of dragging us down. They're holding us back from our dreams and from what we really, really want. And when we doubt ourselves, we don't feel confident about putting ourselves out there. Like, no, I'm not going to record a video. I'm not going to like submit this for a prize or something, or I'm not going to tell people I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm not going to ask for a raise, or I'm not going to tell off my mother-in-law, or whatever it is that you want to do that could actually help your life. We lack the confidence to do it, and we just kind of skate by. We just kind of let life pass us by. And it's so, so frustrating for the person who's wishing, like, why can't I just be more confident? And it's also frustrating for the people who need you, really. Like maybe your kids need you to stand up for them. Or maybe somebody's like watching you to see what you're gonna do before they take a leap and do something. So it's really important for us to kind of cultivate our confidence because you have something wonderful to put out into the world, and I really want you to feel confident about who you are and what you have to offer. So I'm just looking at our comments that are coming in. Again, if you have comments, questions, type them into the comments box so I can see them. Linda says, I'm pretty sure I want to move on in my career. I dreamed that my boss was telling everyone I was going to quit. Might be an actual message. Ooh, that is so juicy, Linda. Yeah. I mean, do any of you get prophetic dreams, or you just have these like inkling feelings like, oh my gosh, maybe I should do that? Or whatever it is. But yeah, if you're dreaming about like your boss saying that you're quitting, like how does that make you feel? Do you feel like scared, like, oh my gosh, I can't quit, why did I dream that? Or do you feel kind of excited, like, oh my goodness, what would happen if I quit? Like if you quit your job, does that open you up to something different? Like would you have more time to work on what really excites you? Would you feel more motivated to earn money in a different way because you wouldn't be having that safety net all the time? I think we've talked about safety nets and plan Bs during these calls before. So that's kind of exciting. If you're having a dream about something, how does that make you feel? I don't know. And what would that person be like who actually does take a leap like that? Like if you did quit your job, how would you feel telling people like, I'm quitting? Or if you did do something big, like some of my clients do really big things, like get divorced or move across the country or completely change directions with their lives, how would it feel to actually step into that person, that way of being, and be confident in your choices? So that's what we're talking about today. Feeling confident about the direction of your life, confident about your capabilities, and confident about what you have to offer to the world. So here's one big misconception about confidence. We think that we're going to feel confidence once we check off all the boxes. Does this make sense? Like we think, okay, once I weigh 100 pounds, right, once I weigh 100 pounds, then I'll feel confident. Or we think once I save $1 million or whatever, then I'll feel confident. Or once I get 10 paying clients, I'll feel confident. Or once my book is published, then I'll be confident. Like we think we have to fit into all these little boxes. We have to have everything just right and just perfect. And once we can get all of those things, then like magically we'll be a confident person. Like magically we'll be like, everything's okay now. Like now I'm the real me because I've like checked off all those boxes. But confidence doesn't come from checking off those boxes. You have to feel confident and feel good about yourself if you even want to get any of those things. And maybe by feeling good about yourself and feeling confident about who you are, you'll realize you don't actually need those things in the first place. So what are these things that we're waiting to feel confident enough to do? Like, oh, I'll wear a bikini when I lose 50 pounds. Like then I'll feel confident enough to wear a bikini. No, if you want to wear a bikini, do it now. Like, don't wait for this confidence to show up because you've checked off certain boxes. It's like about we're waiting to do the things that we want to do in our lives because we want to be in this perfect little mold. Or maybe you're thinking like, okay, I'm not going to whatever, release a virtual program for my business until I'm making $100,000 a year. Like, no, you can help people right now by putting out whatever it is you want to put out in your business, a program, a product, whatever. You can help people right now, even if you're not earning tons of money, or even if your website's not perfect, or you don't have the perfect pictures or videos or whatever. I can say firsthand that I was able to earn a lot of money in my business before I was confident, before I really knew what I was doing. And if you go back to my YouTube channel, you can watch some of my really old, embarrassing videos that are like poorly edited, and you can see how like I was just putting myself out there, even though I wasn't checking off all those boxes, even though I didn't have everything slick and polished. So let's see what some of these comments that we have coming in. Shelby says, the only thing better than getting a job is quitting a job. Oh yeah. I have quit many jobs in my life, and it feels really good to have that confidence to quit your job and feel like, there's something better for me. Shelby also says, life on the other side is wonderful. Yes, good insight. Linda says, I tell my clients everyone has a bikini body when the bikini fits. Yes. Okay, Linda, you know all about this. Like when you are wearing properly fitting clothes, like the proper bra size, the proper bikini size, the proper whatever, you feel so good about yourself because you're not trying to like sausage yourself into clothes that are too small. We just finished reading The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up in my Life Editor Academy group, and we were talking about how we got to throw out those clothes, those old clothes that don't fit us anymore, because they just make us feel bad about ourselves every time we see them in the closet. Like seeing clothes from when you were in high school or whatever, when you were 50 pounds like less, like that's not helping you feel confident. You want to fill your wardrobe with clothes that actually fit you, because you'll feel good about what you're wearing and not crappy about the things you can't fit into anymore. Shelby says, in order to have a beach body, go to the beach and have a body. Yes, that is absolutely true. So yeah, that's what we're talking about, confidence. You can't wait to check off all these boxes and then you're going to magically be confident. So here's how you can feel confident in any situation. I want to talk about a few things that you can try to help you feel more confident as you are right now. Whether you have what you want or not, whether you have that beach body or not, whether you have $1,000 in your savings or not, whether you have the perfect job or not. Here's how to feel confident right now. So first, I don't want you to use perfect as an excuse. So just like we talked about, we wait for things to be perfect before we do the things. My dog is barking at the dog next door. I don't know if you can hear that. We wait for things to be perfect before we move forward. So we wait for our website to be perfect before we sell something. We wait for our body to be perfect before we put ourselves out there or start dating. We wait for whatever to be perfect. And I don't want you to use perfect as an excuse. So step 5 of the life editing process is make white space for personal self-care. And we know that white space is self-care. It's relaxing, recharging, and giving yourself a break. But it's also about giving yourself a break to be imperfect, giving yourself a chance to have flaws and be a real human being. So that's what I want you to focus on, is that you don't have to have things to be perfect in order to move forward on your goals, to get what you want in life. So that first, don't let perfect be your excuse, because I am far from perfect. Like, I'm on a call right now, my dog is barking at the dog next door. So like, I'm not perfect, but we're doing this anyway. And I want you to feel confident enough to put yourself out there imperfectly. So 2, I want you to focus on the real outcome that you want. And this gets a little tricky. Oh, hey, Melissa. Oh, I'm just seeing all these people joining. So hi, everyone. Welcome to our call. So anyway, you can probably hear Skyla in the background barking. Anyway, okay, so I want you to focus on the real outcome that you want. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because we think the outcome we want is maybe what society tells us what we want, or what other entrepreneurs tell us what we should want, or whatever the magazines are telling us what we want. So maybe what you think you want is to weigh 100 pounds and rock that bikini, whatever, but only when you're 100 pounds. Is that really the outcome you want? Because think about it, what do you get by rocking a bikini on the beach? Well, what you really want is to feel confident, to enjoy the sunshine, to spend time with your friends and family, to feel like you're enjoying your vacation, to relax and feel good in your body. And all of those outcomes you can get without having to fit into a little box or be 100 pounds or whatever it is. So we think we want one thing, but what we really want is the feelings that we get from that. And you can get those things without having to check off all those boxes. So think about another thing that you really want. Okay, so maybe what you think you want is for your mother-in-law to move 10 states away, or to go to the moon, or to drop dead, or something like that. Like, you want your mother-in-law to just go away. And is that the real outcome you want? Because what you really want is maybe boundaries, to have her respect you and your partner, to have her respect your kids, to have her respect who you are as a person and how you're running your family. Or so maybe what you really want are boundaries, not for your mother-in-law to like move away or whatever. Here's another one. Like, if what you think you want is the ability to feel confident when you're speaking in public, is that the real outcome you want? What's the value of speaking in public and feeling confident speaking in public? So maybe that's to get across your other message or the point of your business or whatever it is. So we think, oh, I've got to be a good speaker because good speakers like end up on Oprah or good speakers earn lots of money or whatever. But really the reason to be a good speaker is so that you can tell people about what you have to offer. Tell them about your business. Tell them about your big idea. Give them advice and stuff that can help them with their lives, like lift everyone up with you. You don't really want to be a good speaker because you're supposed to be a good public speaker. You want to be able to speak in public so that you can help people. Is this making sense? I'm not sure this is really making sense, but I want you to think about what's the real outcome you want. And it's really the feelings that you think that small little box is going to give you, that you think a beach body is going to give you, that you think $1 million is going to give you. Yeah, so let's talk about money. We think that, oh, having $1 million business, that's going to make everything perfect. I will feel so confident when I have $1 million business because that means I'm doing something right. But is it really? Like, really what you want is to be able to help people, to have the freedom that $1 million can give you. And you can get that freedom without having to check off all those boxes to have $1 million. So when you really crunch the numbers, maybe you don't need $1 million business to do the things that you want to do, like take care of your body, spend time with your family, drive the kind of car you want, live where you want. A lot of those things you can achieve those things without having to earn this big lofty goal. Okay, so that's 2, is to focus on the real outcome you want. What's the feeling that you want, not this specific lofty goal. 3, another way to feel really confident is to do a mental dress rehearsal. And I've talked about this before, and I do this a lot. I don't know people who can function without doing this because I got to practice everything. And what a mental dress rehearsal is a practice. It's a practice run in your mind. So for those of you who are familiar with theater, you understand what a dress rehearsal is. A dress rehearsal is when all of the actors get into all their costumes, they've got all the music, and they run through the whole play or the whole musical, like start to finish, without an audience there. They do it as a practice. And when they do it, a dress rehearsal, where everything is set up but there's no audience yet, they're able to figure out what things need to be changed, or if the blocking is wrong in the scene, or if someone is missing a line, or whatever, or if the music cue is wrong, or the lighting cue is wrong. They're able to fix it because it's just a dress rehearsal. The audience isn't there yet. So a mental dress rehearsal is just like that, except you're going to go through the events or situation in your mind before you do it for real, before there's an audience. So an example might be that, let's say you have a job interview coming up. You can mentally dress rehearse all of the little things that happen in an interview. So you can imagine driving up to the building, opening the door, giving your name to the receptionist, sitting down with whoever's interviewing you, answering different questions. You can imagine what you're going to be wearing. You're going to be imagining how you would answer certain questions, shaking their hand, asking for a business card, all of these great things. But you do it beforehand. And the reason that you want to do a mental dress rehearsal is because it gives you the chance to fix the problems that might occur. So just like actors can fix things with the lighting or fix things in the costume before it's really go time, before the show is on, you can fix things that might come up. So what obstacles might come up during like a job interview? They might ask you a question that you don't have a really good answer for. Like, I'm trying to think of like, oh, what's your biggest weakness? Or tell me a time when you failed. Or I've gotten like really weird interview questions before, like sell me this pencil or sell me this mug. And you have to like think on your feet and answer something like that. That's really abstract. So when you do a mental dress rehearsal, you can plan for those things. You can figure out, oh, they're going to ask me this thing. Let me come up with a good answer ahead of time. Let's say you're doing a mental dress rehearsal when you have to deal with a toxic person. So let's say you're like going to the family barbecue, which I know my American friends probably all had barbecues yesterday for 4th of July. But let's say you're going to the family barbecue and your mother-in-law is going to be there and you don't have a good relationship with your mother-in-law. Do a mental dress rehearsal and how can you combat some of the obstacles that might come up? Like, let's say she starts saying bad things about how you raise your kids. What are you going to say to that? Or maybe you can realize like, oh, when you're getting agitated with her, you really need your partner to be on the same page with you. So can you talk to your spouse, can you talk to your partner and get him or her on the same page with you before you actually go to that event? I love doing mental dress rehearsals because it makes me feel more confident for what's coming up. And I've been doing mental dress rehearsals forever. Like I've been doing them back when I was in corporate, back when I was doing job interviews. I do mental dress rehearsals before I have a call with a potential client. And I imagine like, what's this potential client going to ask me? How can I speak to their fears? What if they ask a question about money? What if they ask a question about my results? Do I have proof to show them? What can I give them that would make them want to hire me? So I do it all ahead of time. And then it makes me feel extra confident because I know I'm prepared for whatever might come up in that situation. So that's number 3 for feeling more confident, is to do a mental dress rehearsal of every single step that leads to the result that you want. Okay, so 4, another way to increase your confidence in any situation, again, is to practice or role play. So again, this is similar to a mental dress rehearsal, but it's out loud. So mental dress rehearsal might be all in your mind as you're thinking through everything, but then role playing out loud. So like if you're going into an uncomfortable situation and you really need your partner to be on your side as a united front, role play ahead of time and say like, okay, if so-and-so says this, here's how you're going to back me up. Or maybe you can have a friend ask you interview questions and you can practice answering them together beforehand, like out loud, like what would you actually say? Sometimes it's a lot easier to come up with solutions when you're talking it out loud rather than doing it all in your head. Or like role playing, like let's say you have to fire a client. Can you role play how you would go about doing that without losing your cool or insulting them? Yeah. Okay, and the 5th tip that I've got for you for increasing your confidence is to create an alter ego. So I want you to come up with a different persona, an imaginary version of yourself that you can step into when you need a boost of confidence. When you're feeling a little shaky, you can just kind of like put on the disguise mentally of this alter ego and do whatever this person would do. So many of you probably know the singer Beyonce. She has talked about many times that she has an alter ego called Sasha Fierce, which is a really fun name. And Beyonce has said that whenever she gets on stage, it's not her, it's her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, who is really, really like energetic and take charge and sassy and all of that stuff, and is really powerful and confident on stage. Because Beyonce is a real person and she has fears and she has doubts and she gets tired and she's a real human being off stage. But on stage, she's her alter ego. She's Sasha Fierce and she's going to put on a great show. And she like shows no fear on stage. So think about that when you're in a tough situation. Who can you step into? Who can you pretend that you're acting like? Maybe you need to act like Oprah. Like, what would Oprah do in this situation? Or maybe you need to act like, I don't know, an imaginary character. What would Batman do in this situation? I have often wondered that sometimes, like, what would Batman do right now? Or whoever is someone that you look up to. Maybe it's like someone close to you, like your mom. What would your mom do in this situation? Like if your mom always has an answer for everything, if your mom can always come through and save the day, like what would your mom do in this situation? Or even simply, if you need to have more fun in your life, what would your dog do in this situation? Like your dog is all about having fun and enjoying life, which I'm just looking at my dog. So how can you enjoy life and not take whatever situation so seriously? So I'm looking at some of the comments we got coming in. Linda says, my poet ego is my presenter. I don't remember anything I say when she presents. Yes, that is so true. Have you ever gotten up and started speaking or did a presentation and just, this other you comes out, this alter ego comes out, and like afterwards you're like, did I do that? Did that really happen? Like, yes, that's an alter ego. That's someone you can step into when you need confidence. Linda says it's complicated. Yes, and Melissa says, yes, Oprah, totally. I'm trying to think of other alter egos that I might have used. I mean, you could even come up with a completely fake person, just the way Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce personality. Who can give you confidence when you don't have it? And then it's not about trying to find the answers within you. It's not about trying to like pull the confidence out of you. It's about pretending you're somebody else and letting them carry the burden of confidence. Let them worry about the decisions. Like you don't have to be like, well, what am I supposed to do? You just be like, oh, Oprah would do this, so I'll do this because Oprah would do that. And it really makes life easier by taking the responsibility and the burden off of you and putting it on this alter ego, this new persona that you step into. Okay, so let me review this, going over how to feel confident in any situation. First, don't use perfect as an excuse. I think I've harped on that enough. Second, think about focus on the real outcome you want. The real outcome you want is how you want to feel, not fitting into a box because society says you have to fit into whatever that box is. 3, do a mental dress rehearsal. Like, do any of you do mental dress rehearsals? Like, if you've done a mental dress rehearsal, let me know in the comments. And how did it go through? Were you able to see the obstacles ahead of time and make a different plan? And then 4, practice out loud, role play with a friend, get used to saying and acting that way before you actually get into that situation. And then 5, choose an alter ego. And if you do have an alter ego, let us know in the comments. Who's your other persona? Whose confidence do you kind of like step into when you need it? So Shelby says, my burlesque class teacher, Coco L'Amour. Ooh, I like that. Yes. So a burlesque class teacher, total confidence. Yeah, she's not worrying about how she looks. Like, she's out there doing her stuff, being confident. That's a great persona. I love it. Millie says, I put on my patient mom self. I have to pretend my mother-in-law is eyeballing me. Oh no, yes. How many of you do that? How many of you moms out there have to be like, I'm going to pretend to be patient mom right now. I'm going to be the good mom. I'm going to be good mom right now. and not scream at my kids and not go nuts. Like, yeah, I have to do that too sometimes. Like, I have to like remind myself, like if I'm having problems with a client, or if my husband is totally annoying me, I have to be like, okay, who do I want to be right now? Can I be patient, sage? Can I be like calm right now? Yeah, I love it. Shelby says mental dress rehearsals every day at the traffic light or stuck in traffic. Yes, yes. Um, Millie says I just have to pretend I'm patient. Linda says, I once practiced a presentation so much because I was worried I dropped the note cards. Oh yeah, I didn't miss a beat when I actually dropped them. Oh my gosh, this is the whole point of mental dress rehearsal. You do it in your head, you practice, you role play, you do it ahead of time. So when you're in that situation, if something happens, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. I totally remember using note cards. I did the same thing when I was in middle school. I memorized a speech I had to give in front of, like, I was in 6th grade and I had to give a speech in front of the 8th graders for some class. I don't even remember. And I memorized the speech because I couldn't be sure that I would like have my note cards with me, or what if I lost my note cards too? Like, I think this is a really common fear for people who do public speaking. Yeah, so I love it. Whenever something bad happens in the future, which, like, hey, maybe it will. Maybe someone's going to yell at you, or maybe your boss is going to like say no to giving you a raise, or maybe you'll lose your note cards or your slides or something like that. That's happened to me before, where my slides haven't worked during a presentation. But that's okay, because if you practice ahead of time, you're going to feel confident even when things go wrong. And this is life. Things are going to go wrong. Sorry to spoil that for you guys, but that's the whole point. Is I think it's possible for you to feel confident, and it just takes a little prep work in the beginning. It takes getting clear about what you really want, the feelings that you want, and not being like stuck inside like a little box that society wants you to be in, and maybe stepping into somebody else's confidence, your own alter ego, whoever that might be. Okay. If you guys have any comments or questions, you can type them into the comments box and I will answer them during the call. They're mowing the lawn next door, so that's why it gets a little loud here, if you guys can hear that. Hey, we're all about being confident even when things aren't perfect. Okay, so I got another great question, and it's about how to save time when it feels like you're doing the same things over and over and over again. So 2 weeks ago, I had a mini retreat with one of my Life Editor Academy Platinum ladies. She came down to Florida, and it was just me and her for 2 days, going over her business and setting stuff up. Sorry, that's really loud. You're gonna have to give me 2 seconds to go close the door because they're mowing the lawn. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is what happens when you work from home. Sometimes, like, people are mowing their lawn, or my dog is barking, or whatever. Anyway, so my client came down to Florida for 2 days, and it was just me and her, and we were working on her business. And one of the things that we set up for her was this idea of templates. And what a template is, it's basically an outline that you follow, so that when you need to do something again, you're not doing it from scratch every single time. Oh, I'm just looking at the comments. Linda says, "Ooh, I anticipate tech problems for every presentation, and I have 3 backup plans." Yeah, that's how I got through my critical thesis presentation. Yes, backup plans are awesome. So going back to templates, which is kind of like a backup plan, it's kind of like a guide for you for whatever it is that you seem to do over and over and over again. So one thing we set up for my client was a blog post template, because she wanted to get an inventory of blog posts so that she could slowly start scheduling them on her website without having to like come up with a blog post like the day she needed it. Do you guys make an inventory for your blog post, an inventory for your social media? Like, I hope you do, because it makes things a lot easier, so you're not doing things the second that you need them. Anyway, so we came up with this template that she can follow when she's writing a blog post. And you've probably seen Like if you've read any of my blog posts, you know that I use a template, and it's the same thing kind of over and over and over again, and it makes things easier. So first is like an introduction to grab the reader's attention. Then maybe it's 3 to 5 main points about whatever it is, and then a summary at the end, recapping everything that you've just told them. I think if any of you have written an essay in school, you know exactly what this format is. An introduction, 3 to 5 points, and then some kind of summary or conclusion. So what I suggest if you are a blogger is to write out a very brief outline of what your blog post contains. So it's probably some kind of like introduction story, and then whatever it is that you're actually telling them about, 3 to 5 points, and then whatever your conclusion is. And I recommend that your conclusion has some kind of call to action. A call to action is the next step that you want them to take. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to sign up for your freebie? Do you want them to follow you on social media? Do you want them to leave a comment below? Whatever it is. So I have a blog post template that I use. I also have a video script template that I use for my videos. And if you've watched any of my videos, like not my Ask Me Anything calls, because this is kind of like on the fly, loosey-goosey, but any of my more polished videos on YouTube, you know that I have a script where I like catch your attention right away. I ask you to subscribe. I say who I am and what I do, and then I go into the 3 to 5 main points of whatever it is I'm teaching, and then at the end I have a call to action. So if you do videos for your business, have a video script template. So when it's time to do another video, or you've got a chance to record many videos in one day, you can just follow the template and do that same format over and over and over again. The benefits of having a template for blog posts, for videos, is that you don't have to come up with it on the fly, like the day that you need it. And it creates trust with your audience because they get into this flow of knowing what to expect from you. They know you're going to tell them why they should read this blog post or why they should watch this video. They know you're going to spell out the examples and what they need to do. And they know you're going to recap everything at the end and tell them what the next step is. I really, really can't stress enough to have some kind of call to action at the end of your videos, at the end of your blog posts. Don't leave them hanging. Tell them what you want them to do. If you need some help with that, with call to actions, check out the Clubhouse class. What is it called? Design Your Sales Funnel. It's like, that's the title. Design Your Sales Funnel. It talks all about leading them through your sales funnel, taking them by the hand and telling them what the next action step is for them to take. Don't leave your audience hanging no matter what it is. And the final thing I want to talk about needing a template for is emails. This is huge. Whether you have a business or not, having a template for your emails is like a total game changer. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of emails per day. I've counted before. I get more than 200, sometimes 250 emails a day. And I'm sure some of you are like having a heart attack right now. But I remember most recently, Chris, my husband, came home and he was like, oh my gosh, I had 60 emails to get through today. And I was just like, what? I have 250 emails to get through every day. So like, don't talk to me about like 60 emails. It's like a lot. And many of these emails are, well, they're my clients because many of my clients email me every day. But it's also potential clients that I'm trying to give them information and getting them to sign up. It's also my readers and followers, like you guys who just need to ask me a question, or it's people who've purchased something from me and they've got a question or whatever. And I need to get through these emails quickly because I would die if I didn't get to inbox 0 at the end of every day. That's my happy place, is inbox 0. So I have email templates that I use whenever somebody emails me. So a lot of times I get people emailing me and they just have like a really simple question, like, which of your planners do you think I should get? Or, I don't know, my house is such a mess. Do you have advice for me? Or Do you have something that can help me start a business, or whatever it is, or like, how do I save time when I have a full-time job, whatever. They have these questions that they ask me over and over again. So I have templates that I use for those emails that I get a lot. So most of the time, the template is really simple. It's just like, hey, thanks for reaching out for me. Here's a few blog posts that you can check out about blank. Like, so if somebody asks me about clutter in their house, I'll send them some of my blog posts that talk about clutter, about like how to clean up the clutter in their home, in their workspaces, in their car, wherever. I've got several articles that I've written that I can direct them to. If there's a book that I want to recommend, like we talked about, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I will give them the link to that book too. And then I always lead them to the next step. So if somebody's contacting me about clutter, I'm probably going to say, hey, you know, there is a really great hour-long class in the Clubhouse called Clean Up Your Clutter that I think would really help you out. And here's the link to where you can join the Clubhouse. And oh, by the way, here's a coupon code for when you join. Because if somebody's taken the time to send me an email, like, I love it. I love it that they're reaching out to me, and I want to nurture and grow that relationship. So of course I'm going to give them a coupon code. Like, I can just tell I'm going to get a whole bunch of emails from people now saying like, oh, I heard if I email you, I get a coupon code. Yeah, you do. Just because I'm trying to build that relationship with you. So that's a template that I use. Like, I thank them for emailing me. I give them a couple of resources. I tell them the next step and give them a coupon code. So that's a template that I literally just copy and paste into my email provider when I'm responding to people's emails. So maybe you have a certain type of email that you need to get out over and over again. Like maybe you get the same questions all the time from certain people, from whether it's at work or at home, or like your children's school is contacting you, or whatever it is. Can you come up with a template that you can just copy and paste so you're not writing it from scratch over and over and over again? For those of you who are business owners, if you do free calls with your clients, I do free calls with my potential clients. At the end of the call, of course, I send them an email with information if they want to work with me, if they want to sign up for one of my coaching packages, and that is an email template. Like that's how I can get it out so fast, either at the very end of the call or like immediately after we hang up. Because I have it all written out ahead of time, I just copy and paste it. So I'm not rewriting everything that's in my packages every single time I have a free call. I can just get it out quickly. And speed is really important if you have a business, because the longer you take to reply to emails, the longer that you take to get those links out there, to get those coupon codes out there, like the longer it is for somebody to sign up with you, and they're going to forget about you, or they're going to forget all the good feelings that they had when they were talking to you. So you really want to get that information out there quickly. So make sure you have some kind of email template already done for you. So those are the 3 templates that I really, really think could help you out to save more time. So it's a blog post template, a video script template, and an email template. Just so you're not doing everything in the moment that we need it. One of my clients calls it flying by the seat of your pants. And I don't want you to be flying by the seat of your pants all the time. I want you to have things done ahead of time that you can use over and over and over again. Any of you get a lot of emails? I would love to hear like what's your top number of emails you get per day? Like, do you get more than 100 per day? Do you get 1,000 per day? I don't know. Let me know how you manage your emails and how many maybe you get per day. I don't know. I get around 200, 250 a day, and maybe that's nothing for you. I can think about when I was in corporate, I got quite a few emails. I definitely got more than like 100, 150 emails when I was a book editor, because I was always going back and forth with the authors, back and forth with the designers and the layout people and my boss. I was like always talking to so many different people. So let me know, how many emails do you get per day? Let's see. I think that's it. I'm looking at the time, looking at my list. Those are all the questions that I got. I do want to reiterate what I said at the beginning of this call, is that we have a planner sale going on right now, but it only lasts for one more day. Tomorrow, Friday, July 6th, the planner sale ends. So here's what's going on. I am selling my 2018 edited year planners, the digital versions, in a bundle where you get all three of them together. You get the life goals planner, the business goals planner, and the 12-week undated planner in a nice little bundle. And for the next day and a half, they are 60% off. Yes, so instead of paying $49 for the bundle, you get them all three planners for $19. And you're going to get the digital planner so you can print them out, like just the pages that you want. You can print them out as many times as you need to, or a lot of my folks, if you get the digital ones, you might want to take it to like an office supply store or like online, like staples.com or officemax.com or whatever you use, and have them print it nicely for you. And or you can just use them digitally too. You can, if you have Adobe, you can open it up and like actually type in the text boxes, which is fine, whatever works for you if you want printed or digital. But the reason is that the printed versions that I print, the like nice glossy ones, we're not selling the printed ones anymore. And sorry about that, but we are halfway through the year, and I do have to cut off the printed ones at some point during the year, because I figured halfway through the year is probably a safe time to do that. But just to let you know, the 2019 planners, that we're finalizing the designs actually this week, and they're coming. They're coming very, very soon in the next few months. So you'll see those. Those are coming. But right now you can get the digital planners. Again, 60% off, but only through tomorrow. So go to sagegrayson.com and get your edited year planners. I will leave the link somewhere around this video too, so you can check it out. All right. If you're watching this recording later, please be sure to add your questions to the comments section, and I will be coming back and answering any questions that you might have later on this week. All right, thank you so much for being here for our monthly Ask Me Anything call. If you have something that you would like to ask me, but you want to keep it a little bit more private, send me an email to sage@sagegrayson.com, and I would love to talk to you. All right, thanks, Life Editors. I'll talk to you soon.